Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update and all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're looking at March the 6th until the 10th. Let's take a look at what we've got this week, if my voice can actually hold up. Mato Anomalies is a game that has most certainly grabbed my attention because it's come from absolutely nowhere, and it looks pretty badass. It's a turn-based RPG in a sci-fi, almost cyberpunk setting. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. I'm guessing it's going to have a little bit of a budgeted feel to it, and it reminds me of something NIS America would publish, but that's kind of a good thing. Although I did see cards in the trailer somewhere, so I am a little bit worried. Fingers crossed it's just a minigame. But futuristic detective story, turn-based RPG with summoning powers and stuff? Oh yeah, baby. And our executive producers, Alexander Cato and Precision Plague, have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you're in North America and you want to pick this up or any of the retail games found in this episode, please check the links in the description and pinned comment. You can buy from Video Games Plus and support us greatly at the same time. Remember, they have worldwide free shipping of $80 Canadian, and the standard shipping is pretty cheap to the US as well. They're just a really nice company. And anyone who buys something with our links each week, they will be put into a draw to win a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is David W. Congratulations, you will get an email from VGP with your coupon very soon. Little Witch Nobeta is releasing this week as well. This was released in Japan aeons ago, I think like more than 1 year ago in fact, and I reviewed it and I loved it. I am easily pleased, I suppose, but it was cute, fun, and a nice challenge. You are a witch who's running through a castle full of spoopy monsters. You've got an absolute prick of a cat helping you, and you just battle your way to the top. I don't like comparing things to Dark Souls, but that's the lazy thing to do, and so I'm gonna do it. I'm feeling very lazy this week. 15 years ago, we'd have just called it a decent action game, but those don't exist anymore. Only Souls-likes, you boring journalists. It also has third-person shooting elements as you fire off magic at bats and stuff. It's just a wonderful mid-budget charm. If this was on the PS2 back in the day, it would have been a well-remembered gem. I advise picking it up if you didn't already get the Japanese version, which I do like the artwork for more, but you know, whatever, they're both nice. And our executive producers, Cartoon Soren and Viz, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Record of Agarest War, I think, is only releasing in North America. I haven't seen anything about a European physical, which is a bit weird. I know it's not like a AAA title, but you know, for strategy RPG fans, it's still a big one. Maybe it's because the original European publisher still has the rights that Axis don't, I don't know. But yeah, this is a pretty good tactical RPG. It's a little bit full on, and even has dating sim elements similar to Fire Emblem, I would say, even before Fire Emblem did that. So if you're one of those Fire Emblem fans who thinks making babies is more important than saving the world, well, then I agree with you. I'd rather attempt to make babies, it's less effort. And our executive producer, Robotech, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Tiny Troopers Global Ops is releasing in Europe this week, so yeah, not so global now, are we? Actually, I think Limited Run did this in North America. I'm not sure how that's getting on, but either way, the European version has better artwork. And I've talked about this one already. The game's not released yet, so it's hard to know if it's good or not, but the previous games, they were pretty fine, so I have no reason to doubt this one. DC Justice League Cosmic Chaos is another one of those games, another one from Outright Games. This is probably the Justice League that isn't ruined. A colourful, cartoony game without a desaturated camera filter in sight. I'd rather play this than watch any of the movies. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising should be getting its release this week in the West. If you pre-ordered from Red Art Games with our links, or VGP, you should be getting some nice pre-order bonuses. But this game should be at various retail places as well this week, and that's really nice to see. I was a bit of a champion of this game. I think it's a game that's better than the sum of its parts. It really won me over, and not because I spent like hundreds of pounds on the Kickstarter for the main game, I promise. And our executive producers Jennifer M, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Alex M, Issa, they're all excited about it. I love it. It's their pick of the week. Hidden Objects Collection Volume 2 should be releasing in Europe this week. I think European publishers finally found it. It was released in North America a while back. And a quick shout out to Void Terrarium 2, which should be releasing in Europe this week after releasing in North America last week. Alright, the Low Prince. Hot off the press, we have Dead in Vinland. It's East Asia Soft's latest exclusive game with Play Asia, going up for pre-order on Thursday in a standard and limited edition. I thought Finnish people were cool dudes. All goth metalheads, but still the kind of people you could have a cheeky afternoon beer with in a sleepy pub with Megadeth on in the background. I don't know why you'd be dead there. Oh wait, it says Vinland. Must be something to do with wine. The source of all the world's troubles. I don't know about this one. It seems very Sea Horizon, which they did recently. That means it's probably a good game, but not one that's made for me personally, you know, and my super important needs and stuff like that. Let me know if you played this before and what you think of it. It does have positive reviews over on Steam, and if you want to pre-order it, then please come back here on Thursday, 11 PM Hong Kong time, and if you click our links and buy it, then you know that really does support us. And of course our discount code SWTV23, get 5% off, so yeah, use that code, but click our link first, please, thank you. Blast Brigade is Strictly Limited's latest Switch release. Actually, it's called Blast Brigade versus the Evil Legion of Dr. Creed. Part of me tells me that if they release this at retail, Dr. Creed is buggered. That's a joke. This is one game I'm pretty sure they can't piecemeal for the retail peons, but I'm sure they would if they could. There is a standard and collector's edition available, and it's supposed to be a pretty commendable 2D action adventure game, supposed to be a Metroidvania of sorts, but you know, which game isn't these days? If it's not a Souls-like, it's a Metroidvania, or a cozy farming sim, or a combination of all three for the ultimate cerebral explosion. Islets is Super Rare's latest game. It's another Metroidvania indie game, and it's a good one. It looks like it was primarily made by one dude in his shed on the weekends. I made that last bit up. He might have made it in his bathroom or closet, I have no idea. But what I do know is that it's a likable side-scrolling action game made by the same dude as Sheepo, but better. Super Rare will be selling this on Thursday. I think it will sell out mildly quickly, as it's mildly more interesting than some of their other releases. And our executive producers agree. Parsnip Coffee, Thorn Metal Lunar, and Boombox is their pick of the week. Shady Part of Me is limited runs release this week. I don't know what they're trying to say with this one, maybe a little bit of their subconsciousness bubbling up here. This is a puzzle platformer, and it looks like a game I reviewed on the Wii U called Shadow Puppeteer. It was alright, but I have zero desire to play anything like this again. You can pre-order later this week. Curse of the Dead Gods is another limited run release. This is an action roguelite that's supposed to be pretty good, comparable to something like Hades. I think it released around the same time, so this one did get overlooked. Hades was a massive hit. This one, well, nobody knows what it is, but I'm told it's pretty good if you're into this sort of game. And our executive producer Dane Wilkinson thinks so, because it's his pick of the week. Alright, let's jump into the imports. It is absolutely delicious this week, although wallets are going to be begging for help. If you want to import any of the games in this video, then once again, please check the description and the pinned comment. If you click those links and buy something, Play Asia really does support this series. Like it wouldn't exist without Play Asia. So yes, thank you. Plus, if you click our link, you can also get a very nice 5% off with our discount code SWTV23. Thank you ever so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is finally getting its release this week. I feel like I've been waiting forever for this one. This is a HD port of the fourth Fatal Frame or Project Zero game, and it's the one that we never got in English until now. It seems as though the Western release is digital only, but there are physical releases in the East. But you have to be a bit careful because the Japanese physical does not have English. It's Japanese only. The Asian version does have English. Hopefully it's on the cartridge this time. It should be, but I don't really know 100% for sure. Check the links in the description for the correct one. There is a standard and collector's edition available. I will probably review this sometime this week. If you need some big horror game this, well, March time, then look no further. And our executive producers Instacritic and Punky Dooster have chosen this as their pick of the week. Ray's Arcade Chronology is releasing physically in Japan with English. Yes, it's been confirmed on both versions to have English, which is nice. This has 5 classic shooters on it, at least that's what I've been told. I've never actually played them myself up until very recently. And they are right up my alley. PS1 style graphics, looks awesome. As you may know, Strictly Limited handled this on their website in Europe, and there's been a recent announcement of a retail release, but because it's from In Games, it's incredibly embarrassing. They're only putting 2 games on it instead of 5. In Games are definitely my least favorite company. So yeah, stick to this Japanese one. Maybe look out for a review later this week. Maybe if I have time. It's a massively busy week. IB is releasing physically this week in Japan with English. There's been no word of a Western physical. It could happen, I suppose, but so far there's not been a hint of it. Not to worry, because this Japanese import is cheap as chips. Even its collector's edition is cheaper than normal games. This is a horror puzzle game, and I've been playing it, and it is really good. Despite the, shall we say, quaint visuals, it manages to pull off so much creepiness, and the gameplay is good too. It's not just a walking sim, there's plenty of puzzles, character development. I like it a lot, and you'll see my review later this week. Definitely this one, because I've finished it already. Melon Journey Bittersweet Memories is releasing this week in Japan. The physical version is only available in Japan in a standard and collector's edition. This is an adventure style game in a Game Boy looking world. It looks really nice, and I'm going to save all the booby jokes if I have time to review it, because I don't want to waste I've already said so many jokes that, I need to save something for the review. As I said, the Japanese physical has English, and the collector's edition comes with a soundtrack CD and even a Game Boy game, like a real cartridge, although that is Japanese only. Still pretty cool though. And our executive producer JCross7776, he's all about those melons. It's his pick of the week. The Legend of Tianding is releasing in Asian regions this week. This is a side-scrolling action-adventure game. Some may describe it as a Metroidvania if they're boring, but this looks pretty cool. Has a lot of style in it. Reminds me of Hong Kong action movies, which I'm all for. This physical release does have English, and there's been no mention about a Western physical release, so be sure to pick this one up because it looks pretty cool. Don't let this one fly under the radar. Oni, Road to be the Mightiest Oni, a quick mention to this since it is releasing in Asian regions this week with English. The West is supposed to be getting this sometime soon, but I'm not exactly sure when. I think it's down for the summertime, somewhere around there. So this is an earlier physical release if you're a little impatient. This is quite a highly anticipated game, but I haven't really looked into it too much myself, like so far. But our executive producer Vei, our man in Japan, he's excited because it's his pick of the week. And also a quick mention to Sainan Tantei Saga, which looks to have slipped to this week. It was supposed to release last week. It's an import-exclusive adventure visual novel that has English. And also, Japan should be getting Chef Life, a restaurant simulator, but you don't care about that because we have it already. And okay, that's this week's physicals done, but I have some updates, some new news to that I really want to tell you. Firstly, you may know that PlayAsia, one of their early exclusives was Shikhondo, a stylish shmup that it sold out, but recently it got a reprint. I think they still have some there. However, the game's digital release is being delisted from the eShop at the end of this month. Perhaps their license agreement ran out or something like that. It also means that after this, I don't believe PlayAsia will be allowed to reprint anymore, even if they want to. So the digital release is going, and there won't be any more physical prints like in the near future. So if you're on the fence, I highly advise picking up right now rather than waiting, because look at RXN Raijin. That got delisted from the eShop, and they weren't allowed to reprint any more copies of the physical release, so it's now one of the rarest Switch games to get out there. It's almost like it didn't exist. So yeah, Shikhondo, it's been delisted from the eShop at the end of this month. Grab a physical copy while you can. And also, I want to point out quite an important import coming up as well. A few people have already mentioned this, the Atelier Marie remake. But before I wanted to tell you, I did want to 100% confirm with Koei about, their Western plans. I didn't want you pre-ordering the Asian version unnecessarily, because I kind of care about how you spend your money. But it appears to be true that Koei have no plans for a physical release of the upcoming remake of Atelier Marie in the West. The game will be digital only. This is the game where the franchise started. But yeah, the Southeast Asian release will be physical, and it will have English according to PlayAsia. So yeah, get on importing that one. I would advise not getting the Japanese version because their record on English and Japanese versions is 0%. So yeah, go for the Southeast Asian version. It looks cute, adorable, and I cannot wait to play it personally. Sadly, I've had to forego a review of Atelier Riser 3 because I just do not have the time for it. But yeah, I will definitely be making time for this one. And one final update, a quick update on a game that's releasing digitally this week in the West, Metal Dogs. Remember that? It released in Japan quite a while back without English, but now it's released in the West digitally. The Japanese version got an update to add English. So yeah, not the best outcome, but not a bad one. In fact, I may do a video about Japanese physicals that added English later down the line. I don't know if that would be an interesting video or not. Maybe you all know that already, but yeah, I might do. Alright, let's get on to the community spotlight. It's going to be a quick one because, as you can probably hear, my voice is pretty rubbish. I've struggled to get through this video, the amount of editing I'm going to need to do for all the coughing. Anyway, executive producer Thorn Metal Lunar sent in this photo, which includes a really obscure game, Autonauts. I did mention this when it released, but I've almost never actually seen it in the flesh, apart from maybe like 1 or 2 times until now. Executive producer Precision Play went shopping at First Press Games, a company with glacial pacing when it comes to producing their games that they charge money for in advance, but these are the ones that are in stock, and that's the best time to buy from them, and they do make good stuff, just ungodly slow. Twiggy sent in this photo, which includes both the Arcade Spirits games. I don't believe the second game got a North American release, which is kind of weird since the first one did. Executive producer Cartoon Soren picked up these games during a sale. Play Asia had the Blaze Blue game for only $10 or something like that. Can't say no to that. Gundam Wing Zero sent in this collage with the new Kirby game. Really can't wait to play this with my daughter. We've almost 100%ed Forgotten Land. We've saved all the Waddle Dees. I just need to do the final arena challenge, but even I couldn't do that the first time I tried, so I need to practice a little bit. Nintendo Gamer Gal, thanks for using our Video Games Plus links to purchase some of these. Massively appreciate it. Lots of good stuff in here. I don't have much downtime in terms of not working, but I'm still playing a song on a theatre rhythm here and there. I love it so much. McLaren sent in this photo showing off a couple of really nice collector's editions like Baldo from Pixel Love and Void Terrarium 2. Lovely. Theo picked up this edition of Tales of Symphonia. Now maybe I am wrong, but I actually thought if you bought the Steelbook version, you didn't get the plastic case. Am I mistaken there? I could have sworn I saw people like talking or complaining about that. Executive producer Alex M sent in this photo with perhaps the top 3 games of the year. I don't think we need any more games this year, do we? Publishers, just stop right now. Diesel JT sent in this photo with so many recent releases. I feel sorry for the wallet here. Didn't I mention all of these like last week or 2 weeks ago? That is commitment to keeping up. Starvey picked up these games, a couple from Limited Run and Metroid, which, you know, come on people, stop panic buying. There's no way this is going to be rare. You don't need to buy 3 copies just in case, although I'm sure Nintendo won't complain that you buy 3 copies of it. Singuis sent in this photo, the big one being Witch on the Holy Night. I see an anime babe nun, I'm all in. Well, I wish I was in. Executive producer God of Resin sent in this photo. Thanks for the support with the top row. Using our Play Asia links, you can see the Japanese artwork for the Little Witch Nobeta there. I think I do like it a little bit more. It's more, a little bit more subtle, but still nice. Executive producer Instacritic sent in this photo showing off this smorgasbord of releases, including Procession to Calvary, which for some reason took quite a long time from Red Art Games. Usually they're fairly snappy with their releases. Rob sent in this photo showing off the very obscure Martian Panic with its gun holder that you have to buy separately. Executive producer V, our man in Japan, picked up these recent releases. I like how the Japanese Kirby acknowledges the Wii. The European version was too cowardly to do so, they had to go to the American name. Joshua Brown sent in this photo showing off A Boy and His Blob from Limited Run. I think you can still pre-order the other games in the series on their website, like still, right now. Andrew sent in this photo showing off the rather pricey collector's edition of Octopath, including the chunky looking art book with that lovely sheen. Man, I am a sucker for that. Irina sent in this photo. It's a bit blurry to see, but she's got in a lot from Limited Run, super rare. I still kind of want that Froggen. Looks like a really fun game. Alright, let's have a roundup. Pabs, Kraken, Drew, Robin Hatherall, JB in my knots. Elondara. Mickey McFlynn. Bunny Bear. Wankle Rotary Engine. Needless Dragon. Ashura G. Scarface. Zero Flux. Golbat Lover. Radio to Rancid. Alright, please send me pictures on Twitter at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me or you can send it in an email, switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com. I apologize for last week because I forgot to look in the emails last week for some reason. I don't know. I've been all over the place these last couple of weeks. I'm glad I'm sick now because this coming week I really don't want to be sick. Also, Discord. You can send it in our Discord. Server link is below. And you can submit it in the submissions send me just one picture per week, okay? I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Get Physical. Special thanks to our executive producers, Dean Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, JCrot7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Parsnip, Coffee, Issa, Bay, Mental Traveler, Grantsert, Viz, Jennifer M, Instacritic, Precision Play, Kadacha, Ozgolo, Totally Grateful, and Alex M plus you. Yeah, you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, what a legend you are. If you watched all the way through, please leave me a melon emoji in honor of the Melon Journey and the journey we all have to go through in life. Man, girl, boy, woman, whatever. I don't know. Everybody has to go through a melon journey at some point in different ways, right? What am I talking about? Anyway, this week we've got a lot of stuff coming up because I might be crazy, but I'm going to try and review everything. Literally everything. Definitely IB, definitely Fatal Frame, and there might be a couple more in there as well if I have the time. And also, I'm definitely going to get East done next week, okay? I was going to do it this week, but, you know, I got sick and then I couldn't be bothered to write and do stuff, so yeah. Anyway, go to a bit more Jordan, please, okay? Goodbye.